guys, the fastest growing male grooming company just got even better. I'm talking about Backscape, that just launched their 2.0 friction fit handle, bringing you the best back shaver on the market. Guys, back hair is not sexy at any age, and it's time you do something about it. Engineered for back shaving, the new 2.0 friction fit handle makes it easy to snap the Backscape razor in and out of the handle. Pop it in to experience an entirely independent back shave with an ergonomic handle that gets every hard to reach spot. Pop it out to touch up the rest of your body. The new titanium shave head makes for a smoother shave, protects your skin, and delivers a smooth finish. Listen to the bad guy and take back the power of grooming your back. Go to Backscape.com. Use the promo code Chael10 to get 10% off your first order of any of their kits on the website. Just click on the link below. Mike Tyson versus Jake Paul. A vast majority of fans believe Mike Tyson's not only going to beat Jake Paul, that he's going to knock him out. Ryan Harkness did a study, and I had never seen something just like this. And Ryan is always up to something clever. Like, if anyone was going to pull this off, it was Harkness. But I enjoyed it, and it was by nation. So he took the United States, a poll within the United States for boxing fans. But it was like 86% believe that Mike Tyson is going to not just win, not knock out Jake Paul. And the ones that don't, the ones that believe Jake Paul is going to win, are already saying because it's boxing and the fix is in. And I'm very comfortable in telling you, first off, there's no fix in, but I'm very comfortable in telling you if the fix was in. Right? Like, if you get these guys together and somebody's going to go over, somebody's going to go under, right? This becomes a Vince McMahon scripted performance. Mike ain't going under. I just don't believe that. But I mean, I strongly don't believe that. And I have to give credit here. I assume that this is Jake Paul's promotion company. I assume this is Most Valuable that is putting this on. But one of the hardest things to do, I mean, promoting it, being a promoter, having a successful event, my goodness, the hardest business, right? But to be able to see the future, because now you're talking about psychology of fans. I mean, this fight has not been out for 2 weeks. It's been out exactly 10 days, 9 days. It was so resisted when it came out 9 days ago. I remember where I was when I got this announcement. Name drop, but I was doing a show with Patrick Bet David. It pops up, we put it on the screen. I went home that day. I am locked down in a hotel. I'm out of Miami. I go to 2 different websites, ESPN.com, right? My website, where I work. And I go to TMZ Sports. And there were several other websites as well. But I'm going to use those 2 because you will recognize them. And neither of them said Tyson and Paul were fighting or boxing. They had a headline. But one of them said Mike Tyson signs to take on Jake Paul. And the other one said it's Mike Tyson versus Jake Paul. And I thought, okay, here's a tell. I'm the smartest guy in the room. I'm going to pick up on something that nobody else is. They're getting ready to do a big swerve, right? This is for some totally different company, and they're getting ready. This is a promotional push, and we'll find out in a couple of days, but don't be suckers, right? Don't get April Fools here. There's a reason that the big guys, that the ESPN did not use the word fight or box. And I really thought that because it made so little sense. I had such a hard time believing it for many, many reasons. Possibly none stronger than the fact that I know Jake Paul listens to you guys. You made it very clear to Jake Paul, no more retire, no more over the hill, no more MMA. He listened and stopped doing that. Also, the idea that this would be about cash for Tyson. Like, while yes, that's a part of it. I also knew some numbers that Mike had turned down. I knew a $20 million offer, 3 years ago after he'd already gotten in shape, right after the Roy Jones fight, to take on Evander Holyfield that Mike turned down. I had a personal offer with Mike where we had signed paperwork to keep our mouths shut behind the scene. Like, we'd gotten several steps in that he pulled. He said, I'm not boxing anymore. I'm done. It was his wife. His wife got involved. Said, he's done. I'm not putting him back in there. And I only share that because we don't know what Mike is getting guaranteed for this one. We just know it's under 10 million. The way it was stated is it was high 7 figures. So it was hard for me to believe that it was about money when I knew he had turned down other things that paid more money. And then you run into the problem of competition. What is it they're competing for, right? I mean, if you're just a die-hard competitor, I never fought for money. I don't know anything about it. I hear it all the time. I don't know anything about it. I fought 50 men. Stayed in the sport for 22 years. It was never, ever did I show up for the money. I wanted to compete. The only thing I hated about the sport. I only resent one thing. I resent that we only get 3 fights a year. So I just share that where I cannot relate to this. Now, if I'm right, if Mike's not doing it for the money, and if I'm also right that it's not fixed, it's not a promotional for anything, it's very straightforward, I do have to then admit that there's nothing competitive on the line. There's not a number one contendership. There's not a ranking. I mean, it has been stated that Jake Paul has no way to win. That if he loses to a 60-year-old, the gig is up. And if he beats a 60-year-old, it's not like that draws him right into Canelo. It's going to upset people because Mike Tyson is revered. I mean, these things are stated, right? We won't know the future till we get there. But what about for Mike? What is it that Mike has to gain? I mean, Mike had some resistance when he fought Roy because Roy was so small in comparison to heavyweights. And it was very little resistance, but that fight was never about anything more than Mike Tyson coming back. Let's see him come back. A once-in-a-lifetime attraction, returns. And by the way, can he? Can he get back in shape? Can he get fit? Can he do one more? That's all that was about. There wasn't a human out there that was disappointed that was a draw. Very few of you who watched it remembered it was a draw until it just came out of my mouth a moment ago. Which is just proof the outcome did not matter. You were not watching for the outcome. You were not watching for a sporting event. You were not watching for titles or legacies. You were watching purely to see the comeback and if, in fact, he could come back. All right, great. Great storyline. Just doesn't happen twice, right? Every smart fighter will retire because you can't come back if you don't retire first. But you only get one. You only get one. So, Mike will be fighting a much less experienced guy that is much smaller than him. It was the only saving grace why Mike didn't get teased for taking on Roy Jones, is Roy was so good and so decorated. And I only bring this to you, it's not to put down Mike, I'm just reminding you, Mike is in a very tough position, much like Jake, that it is a fight about nothing. So, this is 9 days ago, and this is how we all felt. I'm just telling you, it's very different now. I mean, this fight is very different. And if most valuable is the ones that signed this, that's taking the risk and that's putting it on. They would definitely deserve credit for understanding psychology. It's the number one market indicator and mover that I have ever personally experienced. It's just very rare that you meet somebody that understands it. And they did call this one right, at least it appears. They're putting out training footage of Mike. And it's looking better and better. The first couple of tapes that came out of Mike, there was no sweat. We're led to believe that a whole workout had happened, but he forgot to splash water on his face first, right? Anthony Joshua's classic for that. He'll bring in the cameras and do some workout, but he's completely dry. So we, the audience, know this is nothing more than a photo shoot. And I only bring that because that's changing. And pretty soon, I imagine we're going to see Mike spar. See, I would really like to be a closer part of this. I would like to go and spar with Mike. And I'm afraid if I offer that, Mike will believe because he only knows me from like talking trash and doing things like this. Like he says that when he sees me. I know that he would respect me as a training partner. If he would respect that I would come in, follow code. I'm here for you. This is your training camp. I'm here for you. But I would like to go spar with Mike, so I could come back and tell you guys. So that I would personally have a feel for how serious it is. I get to see the whole camp. Let me get those couple of rounds in so I can feel him. But let me be part of it. Let me be in those closed doors and see. And then I'd like to get on an airplane, and I would like to go spar with Jake Paul. I would like to be on the inside. I'd like to be able to see the training, the environment, the energy in the room. How serious are we taking this? And I would like those moments of feeling him in the ring. And then I would like to be able to come back and share with you guys. And see, that's the part. Neither one of them would agree to that. Say, hey, man, this is private. If you're going to go leak this, if you're going to go tell the world. But I would like that permission from both of them. I would like them to make an exception. I'd like them to know that I'm not going to come out in my typical manner of where I'm trying to build a fight for myself. I'm going to come out in a very matter of fact. I'm going to give a real approach and a real assessment. I am wildly curious. When I watch Mike with Rafael Cordeiro, there's more going there than just his power. And I know people like to say, well, the power is the last thing to go. Shut up, because it's not. First off, it's just not true, so please stop with that. But Mike is doing some stuff, even on those 5 and 6, 8 second clips with Cordeiro. He's doing stuff with his foot movement. First off, nobody else ever did. Nobody else does now, but nobody else ever did. But I will just tell you, you lose that. I used to jump rope every single day. You go and you start jumping rope, but you're not doing it every day. You'll feel it's just off. Your footwork's off. Your timing's off. Just there's things like this. And Mike never lost that. We've seen him shadow box a number of times. He goes in, he plays around the guys, something like that. So he's worked with Francis and has been caught on camera, for example. But he's still doing that footwork. So there's a part of me that believes, hey, that he hasn't lost it. He's just an older guy. And I'm just sharing that I would like to feel. I would like permission. I'd like to come and be day of Mike's camp, and be a sparring partner. I'd like a permission, go do a day at Jake's camp and be a sparring partner. And fully admitting that when it's done, I'm going to come and talk to the world. I'm going to share with them my opinion. While that might not affect the match that is still a couple of months away, I think it'd be very interesting, and you would be very interested in where they at right now.